All right, welcome back everyone to another episode of Ocean Outlast Expert. I hope everyone is doing great today. I know that I am. So as you can tell, we are switching things up a little bit for this episode. So historically, for most of my YouTube videos, I have not really included the camera of my face as we're playing. Now I do stream, so obviously over on our streams on Twitch, linked in the description down below, by the way, I'm obviously showing my face way more and interacting with all of you. Now, I just wanted to see how it would work here on YouTube for some of these videos. I find myself, if I'm watching a video and it has an actual person in it, I'm paying a little bit more attention to that person, watching them, maybe being just a little bit more attentive to the video in general. So I figured we would give it a go. If it doesn't work, if you guys don't like it, we can always get rid of it. But if you do like it, we can always continue it. So it doesn't hurt to test it out. So you might be wondering, what are we doing today in our world? Well, at the end of the last episode, if you guys remember, I posed two different options. One is to get into bewitchment, which we will eventually do. Unfortunately, that is not today. And then the second option was a combination, including bewitchment, and also getting a magma crucible up and going. Again, we're not going to do that today, unfortunately. I feel like we've been doing a lot of crafting lately, and I think it's time to mix it up a little bit. Now, ultimately, progressing in crafting is what we are moving forward to, but in order to get there, we have to do a few other things first. And that's where I think the fun is going to be in today's episode. Well, maybe fun. So you might already be able to tell if you've been paying attention down below, we have some Eyes of Ender in our inventory. Now, these bad boys, as most of you probably already know, but for those of you who don't, they will help guide you to the end portal to obviously then take you to the end to fight the Ender Dragon in that dimension. Now, there is another option to get to the end. I think it's just end cake. Yeah, it's not ender cake. It's an end cake from the Ex Nihilo mod. Now for this one, you just need a couple Eyes of Ender. Easy enough to make. Some end crystals and then a cake in the middle, obviously, to make it what it is, which is a cake. So the end crystals are going to be the most pricey of this crafting recipe here. You do need gas tier, not too bad, but you also need a nether star. That is going to be one of the big things. And unfortunately with us, I mean, we could easily keep fighting withers to get nether stars, but I don't want to have to keep doing that. And realistically, for a lot of you out there, you might be getting to the end earlier in your gameplay, so you might not even be at that point where you feel comfortable taking on a lot of withers. Now, I do also want to mention this takes greenhouse glass from Actual Editions. This is pretty straightforward to make as well. Just 4 pieces of glass, some saplings, and then right there in the middle, you need an empowered Palus crystal from Actual Editions. And this is where our empowerer comes into use that we have up and going. So again, if you're earlier in your gameplay, you might not be at that point where you can be utilizing the empowerer, or you have one up and running just yet. So that is why for us, we're just going to stick with the Eye of Ender. It's a good old-fashioned way to go about it. I'm not even 100% sure. If we take a look here, we do have the 2 nether stars that we would need, but again, we only have 2. So I don't really want to waste them on something like this. So with that being said, we are going to take off. So let's see what direction we need to be going to get to where the end portal is. So we're going to fire this bad boy straight up. And it looks like we have our path forward, which is going to be this direction over here. Now luckily we do have flight, which is going to make this a little bit easier, but as most of you probably know, this is a very tedious process to do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut away until we get our Eyes of Ender to a closer point where they're going down into the ground rather than just popping off like that. And once we get to that point, I'll bring you on back and hopefully we can find the dungeon that will have our end portal. So with that being said, we'll be right back. All right, guys, I think we have found it out here. As you can see, we actually had to go quite a far way away to find it. So I think it's right in this little area right here. And as we kind of move around the map a little bit here. So here's our starting base way up here. So we had to come all the way out here. Not too crazy realistically, but at the same time, it is kind of a far way away. It wasn't like it was right next to us. And as you can see here too, I did make mention an episode or two ago around a village. Well, we found the village right here. So it's actually kind of close to this village. But Let's throw one up here in the air again. Let's see where it goes. Okay, it actually went right down, as you can see. And it is going to get a little bit dark down here, so you'll have to bear with me until we can get down below and actually find... Oh, there we go. Wow, actually, that was really, really quick to find that. And just like so... Oh, wow, okay. Well, we're in the end dungeon here, then. We just have to, you know, take everything out. Take all the enemies out and be careful in this space. So, let's board this back up here, just like so. We'll get some torches out. And what we're going to do is we're going to slowly but surely make our way through here and see if we can find the actual end portal. We're already off to a great start, finding a dead end here. Oh, and silverfish. Can't forget that there are silverfish here. So we do want to be careful with what walls we are tearing into. But it looks like we're going to lead down here. So I'll bring you on back once we find something interesting or once we find the actual portal itself. All right, guys, here's something interesting here. We have a villager down here, a lost miner down here. Okay, I do want to actually take off our 3x3 drill miner on here because I don't want to just completely destroy all the walls. Let's get these out of here. Get these zombies out of here. Oh, we got some of these things. Some of the parasites. A little bit of lag here. It happens from time to time, but it's okay. It typically goes away. There we go. Oh, and I just hit that guy. He is not going to be happy with us. But he'll still trade with us. He's a gem miner, which actually could be kind of useful for us. All right, let's please pause for a second. Let's go into our inventory. We're going to stick some of this stuff away. That is the nice thing about having that upgrade, is that we can easily access our inventory from anywhere. So I do want to make a mob imprisonment tool. Let's get that up and going here. Mob imprisonment tool, just like so. And we're taking you with us, buddy, because he could offer us some good options for gems down the line, especially if we can trade out for some stuff that would be useful for us. You know, a lot of stuff we don't really use all the time. And so if we can switch it out, that'd be awesome. What is that? A Sharko? What? Whoa, guys, that is crazy. And we have one of those mom spiders here, which I hate. The primitive from the primitive mob. All right, just got a little baby. I don't even know what hit us there, but we got that guy taken out. And look at this already. Holy smokes, guys. All right, hang on a second here. We do need some wood or some blocks in general. Let me get this out of the way. Let's block it up. And I forgot we got to take that out so we don't get a ton of silverfish. There we go. And there we go. That got taken out. So we're just going to want to be careful. Holy smokes. We got one of the blight ones, which is not fun to have to deal with. Come on, come on. Oh, such concentration, no commentary. I'm getting destroyed by these guys. Okay. The fun part of having flight or creative flight is I can just hover here. Now, you can do this with your jetpack as well if you need to. But these guys are just going to keep spawning. I heard another one pop. Yep, there's another one too, right there. Okay, that guy took himself out, so that was easy enough. And it looks like we have a pretty barren portal here to the end, unfortunately. Wow, and there's some more guys chilling out there. This is crazy. We already found it so quickly here. Let me just get up here. Obviously, we want to get our nice screen cap of it. Once we get everything set in stone, let's send some stuff back home, though. So we don't really need that on us. We can send all of that home. That can go home. That's fine. And we don't... I guess we'll hold on to it. Cool. And then we have our Eyes of Ender here, so we can stick all of these around just like so. Please don't fall in the lava. And we're one shy. But, again, we have our perfect use of our controller here, or our remote, I should say. And just like so, we have our end portal. Now it's going to be a little bit tricky for me here because I do want to be able to get our screenshot for our thumbnail without including the camera. So we're just going to do it just like so, a little off kilter so I can get it. Actually, what would make sense is to use some of this, and we'll come this way a little bit. Perfect. And then let's get rid of these boys up here. Don't need those. Yep. And that should work. We should be able to fit that in perfectly. Cool. All right. So, with that being said, guys, are you ready? Because we're about to hop into the end. Let's stick those away. I don't think we can use our... I don't think we can use our remote from the end. I do want to be careful with that. I'm going to send some additional items home there. Put that there. And you know what I should get? I should get some cobblestone before we go. That is a good call. Thing of cobblestone. So, I did forget to mention the whole reason we're going to the end. Other than just fighting the end dragon, or the ender dragon, we do need it for certain crafting. So, in the PSI mod, there is something that we need to make to progress in our Thaumcraft progression, I think it is. Yep, in our Thaumcraft progression, if we look in our items here, and we go to Thaumcraft, we take a look at our Alchemical brass ingot. So these are what we need to progress. Now, in order to get these, we have to have an ebony PSI metal ingot. Now, in order to get those from the PSI mod, we have to have our PSI metal ingot, which we already have those, we already can make them, but we also need the ebony substance, which we can make, but in order to do it with the trick, you have to click shift here, almost messed that one up, and basically what you'll do is you'll infuse coal with your wand, and it has to be used in the end. That is why we are actually heading to the end here, in order for us to be able to craft this. Now, I am kind of realizing, since this is my first time using the camera, I am in the way of our bookmarks there on the side, but it shouldn't make that much of a difference. But obviously, we'll play with it as we go. But that is the reason we're going to the end, so mainly we can do that, but it'll also be good to kill the Ender Dragon. So, I think we are prepared. We have some good stuff here. We don't have any health potions, but we're going to go and risk it for the biscuit, so let's go. We do have our laser gun, which should help us out a decent amount. Quest completed. Visit the end. Wow, okay, and this did not really stick us in that great of a spot here. That's a little bit of a bummer. And it looks like a tower is actually in the middle of the dragon space here. All right, cool. We can use our laser gun to take these out. Oh, this makes it so much easier. We're just going to want to be careful, obviously for ourselves, so that we don't get hurt by these explosions. Wow, he went right through that tower. And there we go. We took out all of his possible health regen, so we should be able to just take him out normally. And I know you can get certain things from him, like the breath or whatever like that, but I'm not going to worry on that right now. I'm just going to focus on taking him out, and worst case scenario, we can figure out a different solution down the line if we have to. So, and there's the dragon's breath right there. If we did have glass bottles, we could probably collect it, which again, I don't think that we can. Yeah, we can't access our remote from this dimension, so it is what it is. Unfortunately, we can't quickly craft up some glass bottles to get that. And this is honestly one of the easiest fights with this laser. This laser is amazing. If you guys do want to utilize this in your own personal fight with the Ender Dragon, highly recommend checking out my episode that I have on it. It's in the playlist for Ocean Outlast Expert, and I think it's just labeled as laser gun, so you'll be able to find it pretty easily. And he's just about done. And there we go. We have completed it. We have taken out the Ender Dragon. He is donezo. Easy peasy. Again, all thanks to the laser gun that we have. If we didn't have that laser gun, there's no way that we would have been able to do that. So perfect, we are all set, and there is the egg right there as well. But I'm not going to worry about getting it right now, just because I probably should get out of the F1 mode here because we don't need it anymore. But we are pretty much all set then. So we did get some additional things. So we did get some Supremium Essence, which is awesome in Mystical Agriculture. We are getting attacked by a zombie. It's so weird to see normal mobs here in the end, just because there is this tower that spawned in here. I don't think they're actually supposed to. You don't have them in the Nether, but for whatever reason, you do have them here. Now, since we are here, unfortunately, I don't have an Ender Pearl, but we could take one of these guys out and hopefully get an Ender Pearl. There we go. We actually did get an Infinity Booster card, which could be useful. That is from AE Wireless. But there should be a place somewhere around here, there it is, that we can then get to the End Isles. So we have this. Let's grab our cobblestone really quick. Where did we get a fishing rod from? Probably from that zombie. I would assume it was probably from that zombie. But here we go. We can get that. And then with this Ender Pearl, we can just toss it in there. Maybe. Nope, it spawned an Enderite here. That's not what we wanted. Oh, they're mad at me. I thought that's how it worked here. But I guess maybe I have to be a little bit lower down in order to do it. Let's try that and see if it works. Alright, I bumped our level of our platform down 1 block. So maybe this will actually work for us now. Okay. Interesting. Let me check on one last thing. I'm probably doing something wrong, obviously. Otherwise, it'd be working. So hold on 1 second. All right, guys. So I did double check. And for whatever reason, I mean, I'm doing it right. But maybe it's just that I was too close to it, is what I'm thinking. So I backed up a little bit here. We're going to try to just do it from a distance and see if that works. If I can actually aim the Ender Pearl right here. Maybe if I aim a little bit higher. Maybe it's too far away. Or do I have to be up 1? Try that. We're struggling really hard here, guys. This is way harder than it needs to be. Oh, there we go. Okay, it sent out a beam. You guys saw that? It sent out a beam. But we're still here. Okay, I guess we'll try it again. If I could aim correctly. Here we go. Gotta aim high enough. Ah, there we go. Okay. Right? Yes. Perfect. I don't know what was going on with that. That is so strange that we had it like that. That it was not letting us get here. But we are here, which is awesome. And we do have a way that we can get back there if we want to. But we could always just teleport home if we really wanted to as well. So here in the End Islands, we can look around and we can find end cities, as most of you probably already know. So that is why it's very useful to come here. The other thing that it is extremely useful for is something that I had found out on my MC Eternal playthrough, which for those of you who had watched that, you might already know. But the End is a great place to farm for End Inferium ore. So this is a cool way to get Inferium, which is used in Mystical Agriculture, and you're going to need a ton of it if you ultimately want to progress through Mystical Agriculture. Now, the other thing that Mystical Agriculture does have, which is the whole reason why a lot of people will progress through it. I didn't realize I had my caps lock on there, but what people really like to get is the sword, the Supremium Sword. Because base damage is 21. However, when you put modifiers on it to bump up the damage, you can get it up to like 42 damage right on its own from that, which is, I mean, it's a decent amount right there. Now, I think it's one of these. I think it's in here, I would imagine. I would just have to find it here. I think we could look at uses. That's the core remover. But I think it's just the core. Maybe that's what we have to do. in order to get it up to the point that we would want it at. Yeah, and it does require a lot, don't get me wrong, but obviously if you have a lot of that material, you can bump it up and get it up to a higher tier. Now we don't use it because we already have our advanced diamond sword, which does 27 attack on its own, but that might be something we get down the line. Now if we do mine this up, just from that little bit, I mean, we got a decent amount right there, as you can see. You might also be noticing there's a lot of different mobs, well, from different mods, I guess, here in this dimension. I mean, you see a lot of normal Endermen, but you'll also see the little Enderman as well. Now, there's a few other ones that we actually already passed, so let's see if we can go around and maybe pick them out once again. Like right here, here's another one. So we have, oh, we're gonna get attacked. They think that I looked at them. There we go. But we have this person right here, this mob. And this is the Ender Dragon Girl from Grimoire of Gaia 3. Probably butchered that mod name. But that is another mob that you can find here in this dimension. Now there is one other one that I actually found earlier. I'm not seeing any right now. Oh, they actually, speak of the devil, here it is right here. These guys are another mob. Now, when you look at them, there you go, a mutant Enderman right there. Now, I'm trying not to look at them because I fought one already, and it was actually extremely difficult to take them on. And they actually have some cool animations to them. Well, I guess, you know, I guess we could take one on here. I'm going to be a little bit cheaty with it. I'm not going to be using my sword. I'm going to use our laser here, and I'm going to use our flying here. But yeah, these guys, as you can see, they do some cool teleportation. They will spawn like other Endermen, I believe, as well. And yeah, they push you. They're cool looking though, but then they get to this point where they're about to die, and then they explode and they suck you in like this. And it's crazy. Sorry to any of you who might get motion sickness from this, but that can damage you, so just be careful. And just like that, they're done. And it does drop a good amount of stuff. It's kind of hard to see in my jumbled up inventory right now, but it did drop Eyes of Enders and things like that that you can find from those guys, which is pretty cool. So with that being said, we came here for a specific reason, and I didn't bring any of that stuff with me to actually do it because I was a little worried that we would die. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to head back to the base, grab what we need, come back here, and then we'll get those ingots up and going. So with that being said, we'll be right back. All right, guys, so we made it back here. I did go back to the base, grabbed what we needed, and we are ready to go. Now, before we go too far, I did want to utilize this heart container. I already used one of them. I had two of them. I used one. It does take 30 levels in order to utilize. I don't know if it says it on there, but if you try to use it and you don't have 30 levels, it won't work, and it'll tell you you need 30 levels. So that is what we're going to do since we have 37 levels. I had like 60 something before, which is insane to think about, that we had like almost 70 levels to utilize. So we're going to use this, and that'll bump us up with another yellow heart. We're slowly but surely adding on to those hearts, which just ultimately protect us in the long term. So we have everything that we need in order to kind of get the ball up and rolling here. So let's go to the PSI mod and let us take a peek at this. I should bookmark it. You guys aren't going to see it because it's behind the webcam, but I'll be able to see it. So it infuses coal and quartz, but it only says coal on here. It does have to be used in the end. Now I am going to take off our ring of magnetization just to be safe. I'm going to stick it away. And then what I'll do, definitely going to leave that on us, is grab our coal, grab our nether quartz, and I am just going to toss down both of them, actually a decent distance away here, just so we don't pick them up. I have the proper spell on our wand, so the trick of the ebony and ivory, so that's what we're going to do. And see if this works. Maybe? Maybe it just has to be one piece of coal. Because we are in the end, so does it have to be on end stone necessarily? It just says it has to be in the end. Must be used in the end. Coal and quartz, yeah. Okay. So let's try to see if it has to be like on end stone, maybe. So I'll throw that and that. That's a big solid no so far, which is not looking promising. All right, hold on. Let me take a peek and see if we can figure this out. All right, I think I figured it out. I just didn't have it selected, so we'll just select it like that. Basically, you get to this menu by holding down whatever preset button for the PSI mod is set to on your world. Mine is on, what, comma or something like that. So I just hold it down while holding the wand, and you can select your spell. So we're going to have the infusion. I thought I put the right one on there, but I'm a little bit worried now that that might not be the right one. So we're going to try it. Worst case scenario, we have to go back to the base. And there we go. I think it actually worked. Yeah, so it does both of them. Okay, I see. So it says that it works for coal and for quartz, but it makes two different kinds. So really all you would need to get this substance is the coal. You don't need the quartz. But for us, we were able to get both of them, so we are good to go. Now, I can't use my remote here, so we do need to go home. So we're just going to do T/home. It's going to teleport us back, and we're going to craft up that ingot that we need, and then we're going to round out the episode. So back home here, we don't need that on us right now. We'll stick a bunch of this junk away, just like so. I'll probably regret it later, but that's perfectly fine. So we'll go to uses, we'll do that, and we'll get our PSI, our ebony PSI metal ingot, which is perfect. It doesn't give us a progression, obviously. We do have a progression to collect on the end portal, though, so we can get that, which is going to give us a lost crate. We did get some floral fertilizer, and then we just got some money, too, I believe. Now, I don't think I have... I do have, so we could take this out. Is that going to give it to us or not? There is a quest progression for an end crystal, as you guys can see here. But we need 4 of them, so we would have to craft up 1 more end crystal in order to get that progression, and you don't get much from it, so it's not super worth it. So, taking a look at this, now that we have it, we can go back to our Thaumcraft page. I am going to bookmark our Alchemical brass ingot, but I'll pull it up here, because obviously you guys won't be able to see the bookmark. So all we need to do is put in the instrumentum effect, or type, into our cauldron or our crucible with this, and it'll give us one of those. So we only need 5. I wonder what would have that on it. So we got to look through here. Let's see. So it said tools. What about just like normal ingots? Does it have that effect on it? No. What about like iron? Do I have any? I do have some iron tools, and that does have it on it. But do we have anything that's like low? What about like a stone tool? If we just did that, it does not. So it would have to be like an iron tool in order to use it. Or what about a pickaxe? I know I'm just kind of going way off the rails on this one, just looking at everything. So wooden pickaxe has it, so a stone one would. So we could just get that crafted up and utilize that for the essence or the type that we need. So we can come over to our Thaumcraft area, I should say, and we can get that up and going here. So we're gonna just get on over her and go down into our little basement area. We don't need our wand on us anymore. How is our crucible? It is actually quite low, but we should be able to get this just right, maybe. It does help if we just stand on top of it, I guess. We'll throw it in there, just like so, and then we'll throw that in, and we completed our quest, and we got our alchemical brass ingot. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to progress to today. Now, let's see. We don't have... You have display stand. Do I have enough for that? I don't have enough for that. I'm actually surprised on that. Let's get us something to put this on so we can view it. These are so cool looking. There's so many cool items in this pack for us to utilize that you just don't typically look at a lot of the times. But we do have our normal pedestal here. So what we could do is get a glimpse of this. We could throw that on there. And obviously, again, gotta be a little bit cautious. That should do fine, right? So guys, with that being said, we're gonna wrap up our episode. Was that just a squid outside? That was. Okay. I saw something move outside the window and it looked like it might be a different mob than normal. But we are going to wrap up the episode there because we are running a little bit longer than what I would have liked to. But we did do some good progression today. So I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like down below in the comments section. I do try to read through all of them and try to respond where I can. If you're new to the channel, you want to follow along, hit that subscribe button down below and the bell notification. It'll let you know every single time a new episode is posted to the channel. I do stream over on Twitch. I mentioned that earlier in the episode. It's linked in the description as well. Right now we're playing Rage 2 and it's a lot of fun. So if you want to come and join with me and other people from the community and have a fun time, definitely recommend checking it out along with my Discord so you can keep up to date with everything that is going on. So with that being said, guys, I appreciate you coming out and watching the episode today and sticking through till the end. I'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy.